Alright, multi-review, new series out. Hopefully I can do this whenever I want, and... Oh. Well, hello there. I haven't uploaded in over a month, and I figured, you know what, there's a ton of stuff I want to review, so I'll just do my excuse last time, multi-reviews. What am I reviewing this time? Great people, today I'm reviewing The Flash Season 3, Resident Evil The Final Chapter, Spiderman Homecoming, The Walking Dead Season 1, Steel, and giving some different thoughts on Rogue One. Yeah, that'll be interesting stuff to go through. There will, of course, be time codes in the description. Not in this order, by the way. There'll probably be a different order to things. So, fiddly-doo, fiddly-dee, let's get into this review of Multi. Well, this definitely wasn't the best season of The Flash, but I don't think, well, it's good, but it's not great, but, oh, who cares, it's okay. Here's the thing about The Flash Season 3. There were a lot of moments that I enjoyed so damn much this season. However, there's a lot of things that I just found to be really grating, or annoying, or H.R. Wells, or stupid or unnecessary. Let me go through The Flash Season 3. Even though it dedicates about 40 minutes to Flashpoint, it's still going to do it better than the film. But yeah, the Flashpoint stuff was whatever. Luckily, it did have meaning overall, so at least I can give it that. All the cast were at their good game, I'd say. There was one thing that did annoy me a little bit, though. H.R. Wells. H.R. Wells sucked this season. And I don't have anything against Tom Cavanagh, the actor. The problem with his performance is he was written to be completely useless. And very annoying. And I didn't really like that about The Flash Season 3. I didn't really appreciate that from this season. What did I appreciate then, you ask? I don't know. I thought the villain was very well done. Savitar, you probably know who Savitar is. I'm not gonna say who Savitar is, but what I'll say is I wasn't entirely expecting him to be who he was, and I thought his reveal was really well done. Well, there are things that could definitely be improved from his character. Yeah, mostly the makeup. But he was very interesting of a villain to see. I would have liked to, however, had a more dramatic way I can't speak today. For it to be revealed. As a whole, design, costume, they're all very good. Although there are a couple of things, namely Jessie Quick. She kind of just comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, I can run fast. Saying that, so did Savitar. The villains, some of them did suck quite a bit. I really didn't like Mirror Master or Top. They just weren't that. I mean, it's not as bad as the hologram CGI monster thing. Oh god, no. Oh yeah, Tom Felton was in it. Tom Felton was really good. He was entertaining. He kept his English accent, probably because he couldn't do an American. I'm not gonna say that though. I don't know what Tom Felton's American accent is. Comment below if he's American enough for you. I know I'm not. There was also an episode, I don't really know why they had it. Like, you had him going to the future and finding out who Savitar was. And then cut to goofy antics where Barry forgets everything that he is and has to improvise everything that's going on around him. What will he do now? yeah, that episode really didn't have any weight at all. Sorry, fans. You have to admit that the episode sucked. I think it was episode. It was either. I think it was episodes 5 and 6, which were the ones that also sucked for me. Maybe it was 4 and 5 that sucked. Here's the problem. The first half of the season started strong with its first 3 episodes. Then the 4 episodes leading to the mid-season finale were really good. Then there's just a chunk of forgettable stuff. I'm sure there was a couple of decent things in there, but I don't remember it. Then building up towards the end, we had the Abracadabra episode and the Gorilla City episode. And the future episode. Then it kind of just stopped being interesting for a bit, and then the finale came, and then it ended. So just structurally, this season wasn't very consistent. It's so weird. Arrow season 3 had this as well, where it started to decline, but it wasn't very noticeable with its first few episodes, and then when it got back from its mid-season finale, it sucked. Or wasn't as good. Oh god, does that mean that that Flash season 4 is gonna be Arrow season 4? Yeah, you guys don't know my opinion on that yet. Just take it as I don't like Arrow season 4 very much. And I will explain why someday. Someday, just not today. For now we're talking about The Flash, and The Flash was okay, and I'd give this season of The Flash a 6 out of 10. It was entertaining at points, but it just wasn't entertaining enough, you know? Anyway, moving on to definitely not the final chapter. Resident Evil 5. Oh, wait, it's the 6th one. Never mind. Alright, so I'm gonna be pretty honest. I don't really like Resident Evil The Final Chapter. In fact, I hate it. But I must say, I did find a fair... maybe a fair 10 minutes of it to be really enjoyable at the beginning. Not because they're of any quality, but because they were just so damn hilarious. Hilariously bad. I need to clarify with everything, this is a very, very bad product, and you should in no way see it expecting enjoyment, even though it made a ridiculous amount of money in China. But you know, whatever. Money is never a sign of success, as evidenced with the Transformers films and the Emoji Movie. And let's throw in Despicable Me just to make some more people angry. So what do I think of Resident Evil, the final chapter? It sucks, like really, really sucks. It looks like someone got the idea, I'm gonna mix, freaking Mad Max Fury Road, Walking Dead, and it's very apparent, except from Mad Max Fury Road had a very clear style, a very interesting set of characters, and was very engaging. And also, Fury Road was so well filmed that it actually kind of floored you, and was filled with very, very exciting special effects. Unfortunately, however, this film removes all of that. All of the characters suck, the dialogue is poorly written, and most importantly... oh, this just pains me to say. The camera work is straight up atrocious. Just straight atrocious. The camera work is, or it's everything, it's a summation of everything I hate in Hollywood in terms of their camera work. Quick cuts, shaky cam, flashing lights and colors all in front of the screen, no clue what's going on. The only reason it happens is because it has to, because we need some action. And that's all this tries to be. There's no real choreography behind the action. There's loads of cliched, you know, there's loads of like cliched, oh there's an explosion, oh there's slow-mo. There's nothing unique to this. This is just an awful Hollywood action film. However, all of the engaging parts, like character development, are just completely left out. of Resident Evil 5. I mean 6. The final chapter. I mean, it's not the final chapter, because let's face it, this is Hollywood we're talking about, and this has made a lot of money. I'm trying to think what else to say. Wait, no, it wasn't prosthetics, it was CGI. CGI sucked in this. Set design. What set design? They just went to a roadside. Maybe use some CGI compositing. It's just not even funny how awful they managed to make the film. It's just full of a mess of awful stuff. The director has no talent whatsoever. The actors didn't care. Jorah Mormont was in this for some reason. Like, what was he doing in there? As the main villain, I think? I'm not really sure. Here's the thing. None of the characters really changed in any way through all of this. They're either made to be expendable, or made to be there because we need a villain character, or we need a traitor character, or we need a sidekick character. They're character types, not just plain simple characters. And that is why I hate Resident Evil, the final chapter. I don't have the energy to talk anymore about this film, so I'm just gonna move on to a film that actually deserves to be talked about. There's just bad writing, bad characters, bad direction, bad editing, bad practically everything. Resident Evil, the final chapter gets a 2 out of 10. The only thing you could get enjoyment from is how bad it is. You know, I heard a lot of worrying things coming into Spider-Man Homecoming. Was the trailers giving away too much? Was Sony doing something stupid? Was there going to be a clash of tones due to two studios pulling at the same character? Was it going to be the same old, same old? No. Spider-Man Homecoming is really good. It may be one of my favorite MCU films. Behind, you know, the normal ones. Winter Soldier, Avengers, Guardians, Iron Man. So yeah, I guess it's probably my 5th favorite MCU film. Tom Holland is really good as Spider-Man. Also, they keep on getting younger. Like, soon he'll be an 8-year-old kid, and Aunt May will be in her 20s. Actually, that might be quite interesting. Hee. Yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming's very good. Tom Holland actually brings a lot to this. He brings a lot of great humor throughout it. In fact, in general, this is a really funny film. I wouldn't say that there's the huge nail-biting tension or, you know, great visuals necessarily, or deep character drama, but what there is there's a ton of fun to be had. The characters are very interesting, very funny. The plot moves in a very interesting way. It's well paced, except for nearly all of the plot beats are given away in the trailer. Minus one major plot beat. Anyway, Michael Keaton plays the Vulture, and I think we learned from their last films, they've stopped making it someone who has a personal connection to Peter. You have a good reason to follow him. This isn't a conventional Spider-Man movie. No more do we have to live through yet another Spider-Man getting bitten by a spider. Then he gets into trouble. Then the villain goes mad and gets superpowers. Then Spidey messes around with superpowers. Then the villain finds out who he is. Then Uncle Ben dies. Then he becomes Spider-Man a bit. Then they, I don't know, fight. And then funerals. And that's it. This has a completely separate plot. I wouldn't really say there are any holes particularly, although there are some parts. I'd say it takes a good 45 minutes, maybe, for the film to actually get started and become an actual film. But when it does, it becomes very entertaining. Iron Man, I thought he was going to take over the film. He doesn't take over the film. It's not Iron Man 4, it's a Spider-Man film. A really different Spider-Man film. They do a really smart thing of, in a world where they're basically everyone and their wife is a superhero, he has to come to terms with that. The other superheroes are on his butt. He has to deal with very little crime. When he's forced into it, other people say, nah, you can't do it. And that was just so fun for me. I don't know if I'd say this is the best summer film, but it is definitely one of the better ones and one you should enjoy. There was some other, like, also, Ned. He was a really, like, cool character. The whole time I was like, yes, this guy's he's really cool. He's like the Cisco Ramones character from The Flash, which I was talking about earlier. I thought that, I will say this, I think that Zendaya's character, Michelle, I didn't really like her character for a couple of main reasons. Even though, to be honest, her jokes weren't that funny, but I understand they were trying to make jokes of them. But then, when you look at them minus the punchline, which is unfortunately what I had to do because I didn't find them that funny, she just came off as a really weird character, and judging by the way they're gonna take her, I really don't get it. Liz Allen, she was good, I guess. Flash Thompson, he was a really funny part of the film. To think of any other characters I can talk about. Donald Glover was in there. His scene was really fun. Man, I feel like I'm just running out of things to say about this film. I'm sorry, it's been out for ages. If you haven't seen it, go see it. What are you waiting for? Oh shoot, what else do I have? Costumes, they're good. The action's really good. It's actually quite devoid of tension. That's the one thing. I think that Spider-Man Homecoming has a problem with having stakes. You know, in the first Spider-Man film with Sam Raimi, there is a lot of tense stuff in that. In 2, even more tense stuff. 3, it's less tense and there's a lot of problems, but you're still like worried for the characters. You still feel things through every story beat. But yeah, other than a lack of tension and Zendaya not being that funny, this film is fantastic. I can't really think of any other flaws with the film. The characters are really well realized. It is really inventive with its plot. I must say that the direction is pretty bland. There's nothing else to it, other than it's just shot, reverse shots. Unless, of course, it's doing a homage in its scene, and where the direction isn't made up for necessarily in style, it is quite stylized, actually. Where it is made up in terms of, you know, good direction, it's made up in substance and a really good script. As I said, the first act does feel a bit underbaked, but the other 2 acts definitely pay off for it, and you don't really notice the slowness of the first act because of how entertaining it's being. And because of that, I'm surprised I'm giving it this rating. I'm gonna give Spider-Man Homecoming an 8 out of 10. You're not out of the doghouse yet, Sony, though. You still made the Emoji Movie. Okay, so basically, this is a backdrop. I want to review Walking Dead Season 2, I have some things to say about it. In order to talk about Season 2, I kind of feel like I have to talk about Walking Dead Season 1. I don't really care enough. Like, there's nothing much for me to say about it. I'll just say this. Walking Dead Season 1 is fantastic. It's paced really well. Each episode has something memorable about it. Any flaws you have with Walking Dead practically aren't in this. There are a couple I'll mention later on, but I'll start with things I liked. The horror aspect. It's good at scaring you. Pacing. It's very well paced. In all the right places, it's quiet and eerie, and in all the right places, it's terrifying and claustrophobic. The prosthetics are amazing on the zombies, although the CGI is a bit dated. The characters. They're very well acted, they're very well realized. They're people. They're definitely very relatable. Well, some of them are. You know, I cared about Rick, Shane, Laurie, whatever the dad, the black dad was, Glenn. There are a couple who I didn't really care about, but let's face it, they were mostly made either to be developed in the next season or to die. And that's my first problem. It thinks that by throwing in random character development, that all of a sudden it means that we're gonna care. Instead, it leads me to think, oh, well, they're gonna die this episode. And what a surprise they do. Not all of them. Some of them just are developed because we need actual characters. Set design as well, fantastic. I love the sets of this. I love the way it's shot. I mean, Frank Darabont from Shawshank Redemption did this, so yeah, I'm pretty optimistic. The visual style would be good, and was surprised it was very visually good. It's gory, it's brutal. It's by far the most horror of any of the Walking Dead seasons that I know of. I mean, by the looks of things, it's kind of just going to turn into a generic action thing, which I'm not looking forward to, but hey. Yeah, it's just very entertaining, very scary, very well paced, very well directed. Basically, if you're looking for something that's a mixture of action and horror, I'd say that you go for Walking Dead. There's only 6 episodes, which is glorious in my eyes. One problem I always have with TV shows is that they last way too long. This one doesn't do it. Walking Dead future seasons do screw that up. And so I can't wait to sickly roast them. So that I'll leave that as there. As I said, it's kind of just a right of way so I can get onto a video I really want to make someday and down the line. Probably not for a while though. But yeah. Walking Dead Season 1, really good. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I've reviewed a lot of movies on this channel. However, very rarely have I talked about them twice. I talked about Rogue One 7 months ago, so why am I talking about it again? Because a rare thing has happened to me. My opinion on Rogue One has changed. Now, if you don't know, I listed Rogue One as my favorite film of 2016. Now, I wouldn't even say it's in the top 3. In fact, I would say it's in the top 3. It probably is third. But, yeah, it just shows how opinions changed, and I thought I'd give some insight that I didn't give before. I don't really want to go over the same points. You can just check out my Rogue One review if you want to see that stuff. But what do I think of Rogue One? I still think it's a good movie. I'd say it's up to par with Return. I think it's slightly better than Return of the Jedi. But A New Hope, Force Awakens, and Empire are all above it. Attack of the Clones, of course, being my favorite Star Wars movie. Only behind Phantom Menace, though. Don't get confused. That one's the best. Anyway. So, what's actually changed in my opinion on Rogue One? I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I'd give it an 8, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. I still do really enjoy watching Rogue One. I've watched it 2 more times since I first watched it in the cinema and gave it a 10 out of 10. What I'd say has changed for me, in particular, the motion capture software on Tarkin really hasn't aged very well for me. I've just seen right through it and gone, ugh. This CG is actually quite shaky. I also found that, yeah, the first 2 acts really, I wouldn't say they're bad, they're just mediocre. It's like the Marvel movie of Star Wars. Character development, I absolutely believe that. None of the characters really have chemistry, in my opinion. The music isn't that good, I'd say. There are a couple of scenes which I do feel were unnecessary. The stakes weren't as high as they could have been with Rogue One, you know. There's just a couple of added things. Mainly, I couldn't resonate with this film as much as I have from other things. I remember a lot of The Force Awakens, and I've also seen The Force Awakens 3 times. Actually, I mean, technically I've seen it 4 times, because I've been going through spliced footage when previously doing my Force Awakens review, but that wouldn't really count. Going through spliced footage, if anything, made me appreciate Force Awakens more, and watching Rogue One more times made me realize that I kinda liked Rogue One less the more I liked it, the more I watched it. I still like Rogue One. I still find it to be a really damn enjoyable Star Wars film, but it's just not perfect in my opinion. It's not as great as I remember. God, I'm sounding like a freaking hater here. It's a good Star Wars movie, don't worry. If you want a Star Wars movie that sucks, watch the Clone Wars movie or Revenge of the Sith. If you want a great one, of course, watch Phantom Menace. But yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to give out that my opinion on Rogue One's changed, and also don't judge me on my previous opinions there because, well, they just may not be exact anymore. Yeah. So, that's everything, right? Right? Oh. Fine. I'm gonna make this quick. Steel sucks. Steel sucks a lot. Steel doesn't have any substance for me to really talk about it, so I'm gonna make this quick. Steel is a very, very badly directed film that has no quality to it whatsoever. Shaquille O'Neal is terrible as Steel, and nothing about his character is convincing at all. In fact, none of the characters are convincing at all. Most of them, in fact, just become black stereotypes. All of the writing is awful, especially from the little kid character. The villain pops out of nowhere and kind of just has motivation for reasons. So does Steel and all the other characters. And basically, it just doesn't make sense. Also, the suit is meant to be made out of steel, and instead it just looks completely like plastic. The one-liners suck, and the film isn't funny in the slightest. I don't care about any of the characters whatsoever. The plot doesn't move in a consistent way. In fact, nothing does. The soundtrack, awful. It either rips off Superman, or it rips off Mission Impossible, or it just takes pop songs. Soundtrack's pretty awful. Camera work, really bad. In fact, in terms of it just looks really, really cheap. And it's fine if it looks cheap and doesn't try to do anything. But when it looks cheap and tries to do these amazing things, why would you do that in the first place? It's not funny, it's not entertaining, there's no tension, it looks fake and everything. And thank God I haven't had to talk about this any more than I have. Just don't see Steel, god damn it. Okay? Don't see Steel. Ramble over. Well, that ends that for another epic multi-review, and Jesus, it's nearly half an hour long. So yeah, let me know what you want me to multi-review next. The next one will probably be in like September or something. I don't really know. All I know is that I'm done with this, okay? So yeah, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, if you enjoyed this video. You can still do it if you didn't like it, whatever. Check out my Twitter, at MrChicken4321, and also my gaming channel, MrChicken167. Yeah, just let me know what you thought of this video, and if you like the format in particular, what do you think of these various films and so on. I'm sorry, I'm done talking. Just end the video. So yeah, yet again, if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.